Volumes, right? So actually volumes concept, you are having still some advanced concept that is not a part of our syllabus, but I will cover it then. Don't worry about it. Okay. So going with the flow, now today we are covering a concept called Docker Swarm. Okay. Some people will call it Docker Swarm. It is not Swarm. It is Swarm. SWRM. Okay. Swarm. So let's understand what is the meaning of Docker Swarm and why we need to use it on real time. Okay. For example, just assume you are working on Docker on single node, right? On single node max, you can create up to only some X containers. If you want to create X plus one container, you need to go to multi-node, right? So I want to manage my Docker node, and I've also managed with other nodes as well. So for managing purpose, to controlling purpose, we are using something called as your. Okay. So let me open the presentation. Okay. See, what is Docker Swarm and why we are using it? Docker Swarm is an orchestration service. Remember, orchestration means you are going to handle multiple nodes, like on Ansible. If you remember on Ansible, on the very first slide, I have written something as orchestration, right? Orchestration means you are going to manage everything. Like I'm the trainer and you are students, right? I'm going to orchestrate. So that means I'm going to manage you everything. No matter how many students here the single trainer is enough to orchestrate everything, right? So the same thing is going to happen on Docker Swarm as well. So Docker Swarm is something which you are going to orchestrate each and every node. Node is nothing but EC2 instance, guys. Okay, where we are going to install Docker. If you have your EC2 instance and you install Docker on it and you are running Docker engine, then it is called as your Docker Swarm node. Okay. Next, Docker Swarm is an orchestration service within Docker that allows us to manage, handle multiple containers at the same time. So that means it is saying that we are having multiple nodes. On multiple nodes, we are having multiple containers. You can have some 3 containers here, 2 containers here, and every like whatever you can create n number of containers on n number of nodes. You can create 3 nodes. You can create 12 nodes. You can create 100 nodes. It is possible. But on real time, we are not going to handle that much of nodes. Maximum, we are going to handle 5 to 7 nodes in a max case. Max. Okay. Next. It is also a cluster of multiple containers. Cluster means all together group you are going to call it as cluster. In a single word, we have seen Ansible, right? We have given dev2 nodes as well as test2 nodes. So all these together are called as cluster. So the group of nodes together we are calling as cluster. Okay. If you observe here, Docker manager, Swarm manager is going to connect to Swarm worker, just like your master and slave concept. And Ansible concept. Same concept here also. We are going to have some manager and his manager is going to handle Swarm manager. Swarm worker is going to handle, right? On Swarm worker, what you are having, guys? Containers you are going to have. Okay, that's it. See, now let's understand how exactly it is going to work. Docker engine help to create Docker Swarm. So that means if you blindly install Docker, and you want to create this cluster, it is not going to happen. You need to run your Docker engine. To run the Docker engine, what we need to do? Yeah, tell again. That's the correct one. Tell me. It will start Docker. Okay. If we want to run the Docker engine, we want to start the Docker service first of all. So then only you are able to create your Docker Swarm manager and Docker Swarm worker. Clear? First one. And second one is, there are mainly 2 worker nodes. Two nodes means one is your Docker Swarm manager, other ones are your worker nodes. Worker nodes, you can create multiple nodes. It is not mandatory to work on only one node. It is not mandatory to create multiple nodes, like 2 nodes. You can create 3 node, 4 node, 5 node as per your requirement. But manager node is 1 as per the architecture. Next, the worker nodes are connected to the manager nodes. As I said before, manager node is directly connected to working node. And the work that is coming to the manager node is going to distribute to the worker node. So any scaling or update need to be done first. It will go to the manager node. For example, here I am having 3 nodes. That is 3 EC2 instances. I want to scale it. So that means I am able to implement 2 or 3 more servers as per the requirement. Next, from the manager node. Okay, from the manager node, all the things will be go to the worker node. Okay. So first of all, everything will be going to manager node only. From manager node is going to distribute work to the worker node. Worker node consists of containers. Okay. Next, container consists of images, like what we are going to place, our applications or microservice, whatever it can be. Next, each manager node used to divide the work among worker nodes. Okay. Like each worker node will work on individual service for better performance. For example, let's take the same application of Paytm, right? We have taken it a lot of times. I have Paytm application. I have 4 services, right? I can allocate this single service to one worker node. I can allocate this single to another worker node. I can allocate service number 3 to one node, service number 4 to one node. So in that case, will it be able to help me for better performance or not? Yes. Okay. Instead of containers, we are going to nodes this time because we are going to multiple nodes with the help of Docker Manager. Docker Swarm Manager. With the help of Docker Swarm Manager, what we are going to create? Docker Swarm worker nodes. Okay. What does worker node consist of? Containers. What inside container consists of? Application that we are going to run. You can call it as microservice as well. Okay. So this is about your Docker Swarm concept. Is it clear, the architecture part? Architecture. So let's understand what are the components there inside the architecture. Manager and worker is clear for you, right? And you are going to know about 2 things. One is your service. For example, if you take an application, and if you want to integrate some new features, then it is called as your service. For example, let's take PhonePe. On PhonePe, we are having multiple service, right? Like these train tickets, movie tickets, as well as electricity billing. All these are going to be your service. So that means if application consisting of some certain feature, it is going to call as your service. Task. What is the meaning of task, guys? Like task is nothing but a single point of work. We can say it is like it is small work we can take. Okay. It is single part of work or it is small work that we are going to work on the service. And manager node, we know manager node is to create worker nodes. Worker node is to work on the different services we are having. Is this part clear for you? Docker Swarm component. So one more time I'm explaining for all of you. So Docker Swarm is an orchestration service. It consisting of multiple nodes in order to have the better performance of application, right? Here Swarm Manager is going to create Swarm worker node. Worker node consists of? Container consists of? Applications, okay? Container consists of application. Actually, container created by image, but container consists of application. Okay. Be careful. Container consists of image, but inside container we are having application. Okay. So that application might be monolithic or microservice you can call, but we are not going to implement monolithic on Docker anywhere. It might be your microservice as well. So like in order to create Docker Swarm, what we need, guys? Docker engine. Without Docker engine, you are not able to create Docker Swarm. Okay. So on the component part, how many components we are having on this Docker Swarm architecture? 4. One is your service is nothing but feature of a particular application. Task is nothing but a small one. And manager node is used to divide the work among worker nodes. Part of the worker node is in order to implement this service. Okay. It is clear. Now let's go to the setup part. Now I'm going to set up a 2-node cluster by using Docker Swarm. Okay. We are going to implement 2 nodes. If you want to implement 3 nodes, it is fine. Okay. So like I am going to create initially 3 nodes, guys. If you want to create 4 nodes, you can create 4 nodes. If it is 3 node, I am having 1 manager and workers how many? 2. Total 3, right? One is your manager, couple of our your worker nodes. Next, manager node. For example, let's try to set up first. I am going to create instances now. Remember, if you understand this concept, Kubernetes is very easy for you. Okay. If you don't understand this one, Kubernetes is very tough for you. So try to focus on this more. Okay. One more thing. Okay. Actually, this account has suspended recently. I need one of. Password Hemant143. Yeah? Okay. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, so now I have logged into the console. So here I'm going to create 3 instances totally. So click on launch instance. Like I'm not going to give the server names initially, just make it as 3. So I'm going to consider 3 here. T2 micro, like is enough for me, and key pair. Okay, I don't have any key pair because it is a new one, right? So I'm going to create a new key pair. That is your PPK. Key name I'm going to give it as Ram. Oh, wait a second, wait a second. I do have already key pair with Raham. Okay. Create another new key pair. Docker Swarm. So security groups, I'm going to select the existing one. Do you have all traffic? All traffic is there, no? Launch is there. Okay. Launch instance. No more specification, just a normal instance with key pair. So I am going to name it as Docker Manager or like Manager. This is your worker node 1. So give it as like worker 1. This is your worker 2. Worker 2. So let's try to connect all of these nodes. Okay. Like I'm going to use browser because like I need side by side, right? So I'm going to use browser now. So this is my manager node and worker node 1. And this is your worker node. So I'm going to connect all of these nodes. So I'm going to arrange it in a format. Remember, like on recent days, you are seeing something on your screen, like on a red color, right? Like SH error. If anyone able to see that error, give all traffic anywhere. Okay, it will be went. Otherwise, if it is not went, like try to create instance on another region. Or else use putty. Okay, these are the 3 troubleshoots you can do actually. So first of all, like update the things, sudo yum update. Go for the instance one, sudo yum update. So this is your manager node 1, like work manager, worker node 1 and 2. So it's perfect. Like I think it is better to enable this one because we need to differentiate, right? Which is worker and which is master. So give log into suite. So here I need to install Docker on all 3 nodes. Okay. Perform all the commands similarly on this one. Yum install Docker -y. So I'm going to copy paste this one from here. You know how to paste it, right? On console, shift insert. Don't give control V, it is not going to paste that one. Okay, so here you need to give systemctl start Docker. If you don't give this one, you are not going to work on Docker. So apply the same command on your other node as well. Like couple of nodes we are having, right? Copy it from here. shift insert. Is it working fine? The last one is same here. And give status. చెవులు తెగితే జాగ్రత్త. చెవులు కొరుకుంటున్నారు కదా, తెగితే జాగ్రత్త అంటున్నా. Okay. So next, so I have set up everything, right? So I have my Docker worker nodes 2 and manager node 1. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a command. That is docker swarm init -advertise address. If you give this command on your manager node, so that is going to create a cluster. I mean, like cluster means it will give a token. If you copy the token from here and if you paste on the worker nodes, you are able to create the cluster. So the command you need to give is see docker swarm init -advertise addr. Okay, this is the command you need to give, and after that give the private IP address. Like a couple of weeks ago, public IP is working for Docker Swarm, but now recently public IP is not working anymore. Like it is not working with a few instances. So if you give private IP address, it is changed. Like I have verified on this Docker docs as well. We have some official documentation for Docker. I have like went there. Previously, like there is public IP enabling there, but now they are enabled of private IP address. So give Docker Swarm init -advertise addr and private IP address. So now what it is going to do is it is going to initialize a cluster. Okay. So they will give something called as your token. If you hit enter, are you seeing the token? Can you read me these 4 steps now? So that means the current node where you have given this command, the manager node is this one, because you have initialized the command here. So this is your manager node. And read the second line there. That means you are on manager node. You are able to get this cluster, right? If I want to get the cluster, how I can do? So I need to copy this entire line from here. Okay. Right arrow, copy from here. Go to your node 1. Just give the command shift insert. If you hit enter, what it is showing to me? This node joined as a swarm as a worker. So that means I have a cluster. I have manager, right? I have copied the join token from there and I have given it here. So this node is a part of my cluster. Okay. If we go to here, give the command as docker node ls. How many nodes you are having now? The star which is consisting is your master node. And you are seeing it like leader here, right? Okay, leader is nothing but your master, swarm manager, you can say it. And other one is swarm worker. Now, if I want to add this node as well, what command do I need to give? Same token I need to copy from manager node to worker node. So copy it and paste it here, hit enter. Are you able to see the node number 2 joining there? Just go to this one and give docker node ls. Are you seeing 3 now? So this is the way of doing the cluster setup on Docker Swarm. Is it clear for you, everyone? We have done nothing. I have taken 3 nodes, installed Docker, and make sure Docker engine is running. And I have just performed a single command. Okay. From this part, you are going to perform the Docker Swarm. I have given this command, and I got what? Token. Okay. I copy the token from master to like a manager to nodes. Is it clear for you? This is how you can create your cluster on a simple and easy mode. Is it any complicated or like simple? Simple. Just we have performed 2 commands. One is your docker swarm init command. Next one is token command on worker nodes. Okay, perfect. Now what you are going to do is, first part is done. Cluster is done. I need to run service, right? Definitely I need to run service. So this service part, we need to go for something called as your Docker Compose. What it is? Docker Swarm is not over yet. We have a lot of comments to perform on Docker Swarm. Okay. I will tell it one by one. But before going to that, let me take this one for you. If we go to here, like these are some of the Docker node comments. Okay. Like if you want to leave the node, like for example, this is my worker node 1, right? Leave. If I want to leave it from, that means I am saying that to leave this from the cluster. If I hit enter, what is showing to me? Node left the swarm. If we go here and if we give docker node ls, previously you are seeing all the nodes, right? The nodes. If you wait for a 1 minute, one of these nodes is going to be down. Actually, all these are in active and ready status, right? So let's wait for a minute. Let's understand like which node it is. The node is here like 1917, right? 1917 means this one, first node. First node is ready and active. I have given call docker swarm leave. So that means this node is going to leave the swarm. If we wait for a minute and give docker node ls, status is now down. Status is down, but it is still available or not? It is like available, but the status is down. Now I want to make it up. How I can do is just go to here and copy paste the same command. Hit enter. Again, what is showing to me? So just wait for a minute one more time. And if you give docker node ls, again the status will be up and running. Okay, let's wait for a minute. It will take like at least 30 seconds to replicate the changes. What is showing to me? Ready. So the new node is created on the same, but if you see the ID is different, right? So for each time you are removing the worker node from the swarm, it is going to come with a new ID. When it is coming, if I run the same token command, it is going to add in the cluster. Is it clear? Okay. But if you want to remove this completely, there is a command docker node rm. If you like docker node rm and node ID, if you give this command, it is going to remove it permanently. Okay. Okay. Yes. So for example, like here I am having one node, right? I want to make it remove permanently. This node is down actually. I want to remove it permanently. So what I can do is docker, like this node ID, you need to give the syntax like this. Docker swarm rm we need to give. Rm means remove. And node ID I want to give docker swarm rm. The node ID is this one, right? Copy this from here. Give it here. What is showing to me? Docker swarm command help. You are having only these commands on Docker node, okay? But what you have given there? Like you need to give, remove the swarm here and give node. Okay. I need to give here node. Just go to here and what you are seeing here? Node. But what we have given there? Wow, that's the error. Okay. So give node here. Hit enter. Is it removed or not? Now the node which you have given, this one, this node is not a part of your cluster. So now you are going to see 3 only, right? Because I removed 1. So give docker node ls. How much I am seeing? 3. Let's try to this one same. Docker node rm and let's try to give this one. Copy and paste it here. What is showing to me? Wait. Just read the last line. Yeah. So the node which you are trying to remove is, it is actually up and running. Okay. So that means you are not going to remove this node directly. If you want to remove this node, first of all, you need to down this node. How to down this node? Go to the Docker node and give Docker swarm leave. If you give Docker swarm leave, then the node is going to be done. After one is down, just run this command directly. It is going to eliminate this one. Is it clear? But I'm not going to remove it. Like I'm just telling you, if you want to remove, you can remove like this Docker node rm and the node ID. If you perform the same command here, it will also remove. But if you want to perform command here, it won't go because it is your manager node, right? you want to do the same command, you need to give Docker swarm leave ---- force. I will tell this command lastly because we are going to discuss something called as your Docker Compose. For the Docker Compose, we need Docker swarm. I will discuss the Docker Compose and I'll come to these commands later at the end. So let's go to something called as your Docker Swarm service. First of all, like I'm going to create service, okay? Because up to now we have created cluster, right? So now I'm going to create a service. Service can be created on multiple ways. You can create your compose.yml file that will be working, and you can create swarm service as well. Both are different. I will tell you the difference at the end. See, swarm service. Now we want to run a service on the swarm. The main purpose of the swarm is to create a cluster, and the cluster we are going to run services, right? So we want to run the swarm service. So we want to run a specific container on all the nodes. For example, I create a service. This service is going to run inside my cluster, okay, inside a container. So then a container is going to run inside my cluster. So that means I am having 3 nodes now here. If I create a service, all three nodes which consisting of my cluster is going to run or not. Same container on manager node and same container on work node as well. To do that, we will use a Docker service command which will create a service for us. So if you want to create a service, what is the command to do it? Docker service command you want to do it. Next, that service is nothing but a container. So what is service here? Because why we are calling it as container means inside container only we are creating service, right? That's it. Next, here we have a replicas. So one replica will go down, another replica will work for us. So that means replica means I am going to create the container in 3 containers. Container is 1, but the copy of containers are 3 totally. Because if one among any container go down, other 2 will serve me or not. That's the reason. But among all of these 3, I need any one of these service to be up and running at any time. I have 3. If one gone, I will be able to work with 2. If second one gone, I will be able to work with at least 1. So at least one service need to be run all the time. Next. So if you want to create a service, what is the command, guys? Docker service create and --. It is the name of the service. Okay. ---- replicas. How many replicas you are want? 3 replicas. Okay. ---- publish. So the port name we are using. So 8080 means that if I take HTTP or Nginx, that is your 80 port only. So the image I am taking is this is the default base image. But when you are going to work on real time, this image consisting of the every developer port. Okay. But for practice purpose, we are going with the default images as per we want. If you want some customized image, we can create the customized image as per our requirement. Clear for everyone? Okay. So now let's try to create a Docker service. So the command to create is Docker service create. I want to create a service called Swiggy. And I want replicas. Replicas is I want like 3. ---- publish. So I am taking HTTP image, right? So give 80:80 HTTP. If you hit enter, you are going to have 3 containers now. So if you give Docker PS, how many comments you are able to see? No. How many comments you are able to see? Containers. 1. But here we have created how many replicas? 3. So I want to get those 3 replicas. But these replicas won't be directly coming. How we can do it is Docker. What is the service name? Swiggy, right? UPS now. Wait, the service like command is here. Yeah, okay. Like I have changed the syntax actually. So we need to give Swiggy on the last. Docker service PS and what is the service name, guys? Swiggy. How many you are able to see now? 3, right? Just imagine what I said is if I create a Docker Swarm cluster, so that means each and every cluster is containing the same node running, right? If you see here, it is running on this node 149. Okay. If you go for the second one, it is like 192. Are we able to see like 192 here? 17 is your worker node 1. So that means I have created only single service. on how many cluster and how many nodes it is able to run, guys? 3 nodes. One is your Docker manager and couple of your worker nodes. If you create 4 replicas, again, all these 4 nodes are going to be running on where? Worker nodes and manager node. Are you able to get what I'm saying? So now let's try to create one more service. So I'm going to create one more service like this. See, like if you want to access the service, you can access like this. Copy the public IP address from this node, manager node, paste it on the browser. What is the port number we have given there? Am I able to get it? It works. Go for the second instance. Okay. Like I have removed this one. Copy the worker node 1 public IP address and paste it on the browser. What is the port number? If you don't give 80 also, it will come automatically because it's the default port number we are having for HTTP. Hit enter. Is it works? Go for the worker node 2. Okay. Just copy the public IP address. Give it here. Is it working? So that means I have a cluster. On cluster, I have created how many services? 1 service. How many replicas I have created? So that means each and every replica is running on each and every container, right? If among one of them fails, I have 2 services left. So it is going to serve me on 2 nodes. Is it clear for you? So this is exactly how the Docker Swarm works. Let's try to create one more service. This time I'm going to create one more image that is called as my, let's take Nginx, for example. So Docker, tell me the command. Service. Create. Let's go for Zomato now. Replicas. This time take it 4 replicas. Okay, hyphen publish. So it is also the same port number 80. What is the image name then? Nginx system. Hit enter. You are going to, wait a second, port 80 is already allocated. So what we can do is we can, no, the default port number is for Nginx 80 only. So what we can do is we can remove this service. Okay. So give Docker service ls. How many services you are having, guys? This is the service name ID, service name. It is mode on replicated mode. How many replicas you are having? 3 replicas. 3 by 3 means 3 is there, 3 is running. And the image I have used, and port name is Docker service IAM, and give the service ID or service name, whatever it can be. Service removed, no? Don't we have any service? Because here we have given same service on same port. But I will explain how to give it on multiple ports as well. I will create the same service, but I will create multiple ports. That is coming on your Docker, what we call compose. I will tell at that time. So give hyphen enter. How many replicas you are having, guys? 4. So give Docker PS. If you give Docker PS, how many containers you are having? Only 1 container. That is your like Zomato one, which we have given now. But if you give Docker service PS, service name is Zomato. How many containers you are having? 4. Are you seeing this one? Just copy this public IP address of manager. Like, don't copy. We are having it right already. Just refresh this one. Previously, we have used HTTPD. But now you are using Nginx, right? Refresh now. What you are going to get? Change it. Go to node 2. Refresh now. Change it. This one. Change it, right? So that means port number is same. We have given the multiple images for the same port number. But we can give different port numbers for same image as well. I will explain some Docker Compose concept. Is it clear up to now? How to create a service and how to work on the service. The same concept you are going to get on Kubernetes as well. So that's the reason I have said practice Docker Swarm very well. If you practice Docker Swarm very well, Kubernetes is very easy for you. Because like Kubernetes is something alternate for your Docker Swarm. Okay, so this one is done. Now I want to do some basic operation. This is the containers which are running on the same service. Docker service PS means To see the container. Container will come only one, but replicas we can come 4 replicas. If you want to remove a particular service, if you go and see here, if you give Docker PS, you are going to get single container. But if you give Docker service PS and Zomato, you are having 4 replicas, right? Now I want to remove only one replica. So Docker rm-f. So give this name, like a name I'm going to give it as, like you can give ID as well. Copy from here. Paste it over here. What is shown to me? No such? Name should be upside to down. Huh? Just observe this one carefully, what we have written there. Names. But like if you go and see here, are you seeing names or like name? I have given ID, right? Remove this one and give Zomato 1. What is showing to me? But why it is showing to me? Give like this, Zomato 1 dot, this is my first replica, right? Give it like this now. What is showing to me? Again, like what might be missing there? I need to down at least one replica, but it is not like letting me down anything. Have I missed something there? To remove? Okay. Docker service RM. Okay, let's try this one. Like we are removing service, right? So when we are working with Docker service, what command we need to give? Docker service. Hit enter. -f flag. It is not taking. Like give this Zomato 1. Don't give all of this. What is showing to me again? Just give Docker service command. It will show me the list of the services. So Docker service RM is the same thing. Like we need to give. Right? -f is forcefully. If you want forcefully, you can give force. Like remove this one from here. No such service. You like this Docker service ls. Oh, sorry. What is showing to me? I have something called as your Zomato. You Docker service RM Zomato. So in this case, it is going to remove enter the service from me, right? So, but if you remove replica, if one replica goes down, another replica will come automatically. That's it. So like this public IP is done and service name remove is also done, but this replica like it is not done actually. Let me create the old replica, because if you observe here, I'm not seeing any particular names. Like these are not name actually. You will get something different. Let me go back my Swiggy once. Swiggy. Docker node, sorry, Docker service ls. I will get Swiggy and Docker service. PS service name is Swiggy. The same thing is getting actually. Docker service, okay, Docker RM. Hyphen here. To give ID actually it need to be removed. Copy and shift. No such container actually, you need to get container name. Okay, actually this is not working because the command is same. Because like a couple of days back ago, like I have given the service from internet as well. Like it's worked. So let's try to understand this one. రెప్లికాస్ అంటే ఒకటే నోడ్ లో 4 ఉంటాయి. You got my point, right? Replicas అంటే 4 అన్నమాట. ఈ రెప్లికాస్ అనేవి if you go for here, just to give docker service ls. What is showing to me? Error from the daemon. This node is not a swarm manager. Worker nodes can't be view or modify cluster state. Please run the command on manager node. So that means what are the service you are going to create is on manager node, right? You can't access any service from the worker node. You can't create, but you can access. If you go back to this particular slide, here I have explained something. Just view this one. Okay. So go for this one, like, see, the manager nodes are connected to the worker nodes, right? As I said before, every service will be on Swarm manager. Swarm manager will distribute the service, but Swarm worker node will not able to create any service, right? Manager is only create the service and distribute the work to the service. Sorry, this worker node. And from the worker node, we are able to access the service, but you can't create anything from the worker node. You can't? You can view now. Public IP address we have given worker node and we are able to see it. Okay. See, replicas అంటే మన మేనేజర్ నోడ్ లో ఉంటాయి. వర్కర్ నోడ్ లో రెప్లికాస్ రన్ అవ్వవు. వర్కర్ నోడ్ లో సర్వీస్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ సర్వీస్ వర్కర్ నోడ్ నువ్వు ప్రైవేట్ ఐపీ అడ్రస్ నుంచి కానీ పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ నుంచి కానీ యాక్సెస్ చేసుకుంటావు. Replicas won't go for the worker node, guys. Replicas will stay on manager node only because every service will be on manager node only. From manager node, you are going to distribute, like you are going to make this enable on worker node. But worker node will not able to manage any service. Okay. Every service will be on some Swarm manager only. So you are distributing the service which is created on Swarm manager to worker node. So in that case, Swarm manager ki meeku button taginatle kada. That's the default. Ardhamaindi ippudu concept? Okay. So like, just give me a second. So this server part is like service part is done. Now let's go back to your Docker Swarm and perform some commands. Like we are having multiple nodes, right? Okay, go to here. We are having multiple nodes. If I want to remove any of this node, first of all, I will need to give Docker Swarm leave. Is it able to eliminate? Okay. If we give Docker node ls on the Docker worker node, sorry, Docker node ls, you are able to see this one down, right? Now you can remove this permanently. Give Docker node rm, copy this node ID from here. Okay, copy over here. Correct. Copy and paste it here. Hit enter. This node will be permanently down. If we go to like this one, like this is your 17 node, right? This is my 17. And if I go for this one, and if I go like copy this public IP address and paste it over here. See this one, like 80 colon. Is it working for me now? So that means if one node is already down, you are able to work with the same node, right? This is down only. When the Docker Swarm is down, you are able to work with it. But if you remove permanently, then it is not going to work it properly. Okay. Just wait for a couple of minutes. It is going to emulate. It will take some time to reload. Okay. So give Docker node ls1. How many nodes you are seeing? Even if the node is down, it is able to serve me for some time. But if you go for now and refresh, is it going to serve now? No, because it is completely removed, right? If it is down also, you can access, but it is removed, you are not able to access. Is it clear? Okay. Next. If I want to remove a node forcefully, for example, if we say this is my manager node, I can't give Docker Swarm leave. It is saying that you are going to remove this directly. You are not going to remove this directly because it is your master node. So if you want to leave this master node, you are not allowed to do it directly. You can give something called as this one. What is showing to me? Force. If you give this, it is not your master node to perform the commands, okay? Because you have left from the cluster, so you are not a Docker Swarm manager anymore. If you want to be Docker Swarm Manager, again, what you need to do? Give Docker Swarm init. You are going to get this token, right? If we give Docker node ls, are you able to get this one now? So this is the way of doing it. If you want to get the manager token, okay, if you want to get the manager token, there is a command to get the manager token. See, Docker Swarm join token worker and Docker Swarm join token manager. So give this command, Docker Swarm join token. So you are going to get the manager token. Or else, like if you want worker, how we go? Oh, okay. Join token. Here, like I need to remove this T. Join. Have you got the token? If you want the token of manager, just remove this worker and give manager. Have you got this one? Like this is the way of doing things, guys. Is it clear for you, everyone? So if you want to remove this manager node completely, you need to give Docker Swarm leave -- force. Then only it is going to remove. Again, if you want to join Docker Swarm init, like you need to give that command, it is going to get the token. If you want to get the token of manager, Docker Swarm join token manager. If you want to get the token of worker, what is the command? Join token worker. Okay. So let's go to the compose. Like I'm going to cover like compose initialization only today. Like tomorrow we are going to see compose one more time. See, this part is done, right? Docker Swarm cluster is set up, service creation is set up, and like we have seen the different kind of images of service, right? So let's go to something called as your Docker Compose. The difference between Docker Swarm and Docker Compose is you are able to run same service on multiple containers, right? Same service on multiple. But here multiple service on same container. That's the difference. Like it is simply opposite. Docker Swarm is same service on, but here exactly opposite. See, it is a tool that run multi-container Docker application. What it is actually? Multi-container Docker application. You can run multiple containers as a single service. So multiple service, like multiple containers you are running on. But on Docker Swarm, you have state something as single service, multiple containers. But here, wait. Multiple containers. Okay, sorry. Okay, so there we have seen multiple, like single service, multiple replicas on single container. But here we are running on multiple containers as a single service. So that means if you write a Docker Compose file, you can write 10 number of service. That 10 number of service will be on single container here as well. Next, the Compose file will provide a way to documentation and configuration of like application service that consists of database, caches, web servers. So that means on this Compose file, you can simply write your number of services you want. And you can give different number of ports. Previously, we have seen port is running on single, like a service is running on single port only, right? But here I can give multiple ports as per my requirement. Service 1 is running on 8000. Service 2 is running on 8001. Service 3 can be running on 8003 like this. You can give how many port numbers you want to give. That can be done by using Docker Compose. Next, using the Compose command line tool, you can create and start one or more containers for each dependency with a single command. So you are going to use this command, Docker Compose. Okay. So that like we need to have some basic knowledge about Docker Compose file. So Docker Compose file, you need to written on YAML language. You know YAML language, right? What is the meaning of YAML? Written the markup language. Okay. Indentation of YAML language is first we need to begin 3 hyphens, but it is not mandatory. Like you are not go to following the indentation here because like there is no much dependency for it. So YAML works on key value pair. Key value pair also called as dictionary. So the Docker Compose file includes services, networking, and volume. So that means you can write your services here, and you can write your network. So that means which protocol like you are going to allow, and you can also include your volumes, which volume you want to create. But if you go to the Docker Swarm service, we have like here also the command which I have given previously. I am going to convert into the YAML file. Next, the default path is what it is, Docker Compose.yml. So you need to write every compose file on this format only. Next, it contains a service definition which configures each container started of the service. So that means each service you are going to return as on different ports as well as multi-configuration. So you are going to configure on multiple ways. You can give multiple ports and you can give multiple volumes at the same time. So let's try to install this Docker Compose. Like these commands, I'm going to paste it on your chart, guys. Or you can find the same commands on your internet as well. Just to give Docker Compose installation. So go to the official dev website. You can able to find the same comments over here as well. Go to the Linux. Like this is a Docker desktop. I need to go down like Linux. Are you able to get these comments? This one. Like this is a different way to do it. Like you can give it by using plugin as well. You can directly use the comments or you can use the link as well. It depends upon you, like how you are going to implement it. Like I am going to install it by using these links. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I am going to take this link. Okay. Sudo call. What is the meaning of call, guys? Meaning of call. Check URL. So I'm going to take this command, like I'm going to copy it here. Is the Docker Compose initiated here? But it is not on this path. It is on this path. Just give user ls/user local bin ls. The Docker Compose came there. So if I want to use this command need to be executable, right? Executable or not? If you use the Docker command or any command, that command need to be executable at any cost. So I am going to give this one executable permission. So how I can do it is give sudo, or without sudo also you can give chmod +x. I need to give executable to Docker Compose, but the file is on user local bin Docker Compose. Just to give the ls user local bin now. Are we able to see the executable permission for the Docker Compose now? That is the way. And third thing, we are going to create a soft link for it. Okay. Sudo ln-s, like I'm going to create a soft link from user local bin Docker Compose to like normal user bin Docker Compose. Okay. If you observe this command, I am going to give like this. So that means I have created the soft link from user local bin Docker Compose to user bin Docker Compose. If you give ls/user bin, you can create the, like you can see the Docker Compose. The reason why we are giving it is every command that a user is going to execute is storing on bin only. If you install Terraform future, like the command which you are installing from the package need not to move to the bin. But the things which are installing from the links from external source, that means you are going to definitely give to the executable permission first and you are going to move to bin. Even if you install Terraform, you need to give the same. Even if you install Nagios, you need to do the same thing for that. So if you give Docker -compose -f version, are you able to see the Docker Compose version? Just remove this one. We want to see the full information. So this is the full information. Is it clear for you? So that's it about the Docker Compose. So starting, we have seen Docker Swarm today. And after that, we have set up the Docker cluster. We have created the 2 services by using 2 different images with same port number. And after that, we have seen how to remove the cluster one by one. And after that, finally, we have seen Docker Compose. On Docker Compose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a single file. Inside single file, I can use multiple images with the same port number. But the container name is different. Like port number 80 for HTTPD and Nginx as well. But I'm going to use my port number as 8001 for Nginx, 8002 for HTTPD. So that means I can able to access both images from same port number, but different container number. Clear? So that's it, guys. So for the online people, if you are having any doubts on class, you can ask me now.